Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to News Dose. And today is a very exciting day for me personally. And the reason I say that is because Psychonauts 2, the game that I have been hyping up on this channel pretty much all year long, is about ready to release. And not only is it set to release in the next couple days, but it actually looks like it might be a Game of the Year candidate as well. Yeah, it's sounding absolutely fantastic, and for all of you Psychonauts fans out there that's been waiting years and years, I know I've been waiting for years and years, well, it looks like the wait has been well worth it, and we will be going over all of that today. Truthfully, everybody, cannot wait. Now, even though I'm super excited for Psychonauts 2 and everything, we do actually have plenty of other news to talk about as well, including a PlayStation 5 revision. Yes, the PlayStation 5 does already have a revision going out right now, and then we also have some big Gamescom games to talk about because a few games are being teased for that Gamescom event that will take place later this week. So we got a very busy episode ahead of us, so let's just go and jump right into it. Now, unfortunately, though, we do actually have to start today off with a bit of bad news. Thankfully, the rest of the day will be good news, but yes, unfortunately, it does look like the Sonic Colors Physical Edition will be delayed over in the EMEA region. Yes, unfortunately, Sega did send out a message apologizing to fans saying this: due to unforeseen logistical issues, all physical editions of Sonic Colors Ultimate, which include both the standard and keyring edition, will be delayed across all EMEA markets, excluding Australia and New Zealand. This does not impact the digital release across all first-party platforms. Sega is committed to customer satisfaction, and we apologize for this unfortunate delay. More information to follow. And yes, as they said, this is just very unfortunate overall, especially for those who really are adamant to have that physical edition. I know for myself, I am a big collector and I do prefer physical editions when possible, but you know, the good news here, because I try to be an optimistic person, there is some good news here, and that includes that yes, you can play it digital. I know if you really are adamant on that physical release, that doesn't help out, but like I said, I try to be optimistic, and yeah, September in general is a very busy month in the gaming world. If you are going to hold out in that physical release, luckily there's a lot of good games releasing next month, including you have Deathloop, Kena Bridge of Spirits, Tales of Arise, Life is Strange True Colors, there's Death Stranding, Director's Cut, you have Eastward, there's Lost Judgment. I'm really excited about that one, and yeah, just overall, I think September, there's definitely a lot of games to look forward to, so if you are holding off on that Sonic Colors release until the physical version does come out, at least there's some other good-looking games to play as well, if any of those do interest you. Like I said before, I know it's unfortunate, but this does seem like it's out of Sega's hands here, with it being logistic issues. Now, with that said, we really don't know how long the physical version will be delayed in the EMEA region, but hopefully we get some more information on that soon, and for that matter, hopefully it's not too big of a delay. Moving on though, one thing that's really exciting about this week is that Gamescom will be taking place on the 25th. That's when that kickoff event will go live, and Jeff Keighley is kind of already teasing some games that will be there, and yeah, it's already sounding like it's going to be a really good event. So let's just go and check out some of the games that are being teased for Gamescom on the 25th. Over here on Twitter, you can see Jeff Keighley teasing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge for that opening night live over at Gamescom. And this is a game that was revealed earlier this year, and fans, myself included, seem to be really excited about this one. And that's for really a multitude of reasons. For one, I mean, based off the gameplay that we've seen so far, it looks really good, and it seems to be a bit of a throwback to some of the older arcade Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games, including Turtles in Time. Now, a lot of people do consider Turtles in Time to be one of the very best beat-em-up style games ever made, and for myself, yeah, I would definitely rank it up there. This is a game that I have a lot of fond memories of growing up myself, and to see a game like this come back, yeah, it's definitely very exciting, But what makes this even more interesting is the fact that .mu is the studio that's working on this game. Now, the reason that's such a big deal is because .mu is the same studio behind Streets of Rage 4, and we all know just how excellent of a game that was. So we know that they already do a good job with bringing back some of these old school beat-em-up style games, so to see them working on a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, yeah, that bodes really well for this new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. So definitely look forward to seeing Shredder's Revenge over at Gamescom. That's not quite everything though, because Jeff Keighley's been pretty busy over on Twitter here recently, teasing a lot of different games for that Gamescom kickoff event. And yeah, I'm going to kind of go down a list of some of the games that he's been teasing over on Twitter, and that includes Valheim. We're going to see a Death Stranding Director's Cut extended trailer. Far Cry 6 be getting a new story trailer. I know a lot of you all are really interested in that Far Cry 6 story, so that's pretty cool. Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania will be getting a new character here. We're going to get a Genshin Impact update. Call of Duty Vanguard is going to get a next generation gameplay reveal. Obviously, Call of Duty is a huge franchise, so Call of Duty fans are definitely going to want to tune in. Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga is going to show up here. We're going to get a Splitgate world premiere. King of Fighters 15 is going to be here as well. Maybe a new character reveal. And then, and this one is really, really interesting, but he's also teasing a Saints Row reboot. Yeah, I wasn't quite expecting that, but Saints Row has been a pretty long-running franchise for a while now. This is a game that originally drew a lot of inspiration from the Grand Theft Auto franchise. I remember really enjoying this game a lot with some of my friends back during the Xbox 360 days, and at the time it was a really good GTA-like experience. But they have went to a different type of direction with some really over-the-top gameplay. We saw some superhero powers in Saints Row, and yeah, they've definitely taken this franchise into a different direction. But here we are seeing him tease a reboot, and I'm very curious to see what they do with Saints Row with a rebooted title. Will they kind of go back more to its roots and go back to being a GTA-inspired type of game, or will they just continue off with that just over-the-top, humorous type of gameplay? I guess we'll find out here soon, but yeah, it definitely looks like a Saints Row reboot is set to be revealed at this Gamescom event. Truthfully, this event is starting to shape up very well, and this doesn't even include that Xbox Gamescom event, which will be taking place tomorrow on the 24th. Yeah, it's going to be a pretty good week for gamers. Speaking of Xbox, though, we need to talk about Psychonauts 2. This game I could not be any more excited about, and today definitely didn't help out with that at all, because reviews are starting to roll out for Psychonauts 2 right now. Now, Psychonauts 2 is a Double Fine game, which means this is coming directly from an Xbox game studio now, and we'll kind of get back into that here in just a moment, but currently, as I am recording, Psychonauts 2 has an 89 overall score on OpenCritic, and then an 87 on Metacritic. Now, that 89 over on OpenCritic would actually mean that Psychonauts 2 is the best rated big premiere release for 2021 so far. It edged out both Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart as well as It Takes Two, which are both phenomenal games. Probably two of my favorite games that's released this year, and to this day, I would actually consider It Takes Two the game of the year. Now, I haven't got to play Psychonauts 2 yet, but that might change here in the next couple of days, and can't wait to test it out myself. But yes, Psychonauts 2 currently is the best rated new big premiere release for 2021. That is such fantastic news for a multitude of reasons. Now, if you've played the original Psychonauts, I don't really think that this is a major surprise, because even though this game isn't like the most popular game in the world, the people who played this game, they love it. I mean, I've been saying it on this channel for quite a while now. Psychonauts is one of the best 3D platformers of all time, hands down. It is a phenomenal experience. It's insanely creative. It's got a good story. It's got lovable and charming characters. Definitely quirky. It's got a cool world. And it really is just an amazing 3D platformer. So the fact that this game is reviewing so well is really not that big of a surprise. But I found it really interesting that so many people today, and they're kind of surprised by the score. And a lot of people were like, oh, well, now I need to go back and play the first Psychonauts game. Now, you all who've been watching this channel, you all have had full disclosure that, yeah, you should probably play that first game because, as I keep saying, it's aged incredibly well. It still stands the test of time, and even though it's not going to be necessary to play it before Psychonauts 2, it's still recommended because this game does have a legitimate story, and the first game is going to introduce you to all of the characters in the world and how Raz becomes a Psychonaut and how he learns all these different abilities. And in fact, the second game, you're going to have all of the abilities that you learn from the first game. So it is recommended to play the first, even though it's not absolutely necessary. Nonetheless, it's really exciting to see for all these Psychonauts fans out there. The wait definitely seems like it's been well worth it. And for that matter, I'm so happy for Double Fine themselves. Double Fine is just this really highly talented, creative, zany studio, and they do often make these niche but high quality games. And at times, it's felt like Double Fine has had a hard time even staying afloat because, yeah, some of their games are niche, and even though they are very good, they oftentimes do go a bit under the radar. And that right there is the reason that I've been all for this Double Fine acquisition by Xbox. Not only does this acquisition help out Xbox, but it legitimately is a good thing for Double Fine. Now they're going to have a real budget and the extra time that they need to work on their games, and we're really seeing that here with Psychonauts 2. And in fact, Xbox did help out with Psychonauts 2 in development. They gave them an extra budget and more time to develop this game, and Double Fine was even able to re-add and cut content because of that extra time that Xbox afforded them. So you're already seeing how Xbox can better a studio like Double Fine, so I'm really excited for that. And then on top of that, I love seeing a game like Psychonauts 2 and in Double Fine get the recognition that they truly deserve. With this game launching directly into Xbox Game Pass, a lot of people are going to try this game out, and that bodes well for maybe even possibly a third Psychonauts game. Please, let's not have to wait another like 17 years for a new Psychonauts game. Hopefully this one is really successful right out of the gate. But that is another part of this whole release here. This game will be launching directly into Xbox Game Pass, and I mean, if you start to look at the last 30 or so days for Xbox Game Pass, they've had a ton of day one releases, including Crystals, Omno, The Ascent, Dodgeball Academia, Recompile, Humankind, Hades, Flight Simulator, and now Psychonauts 2. And not only are these good games, but I mean, you legitimately have 3 games that very possibly might get some Game of the Year awards later this year. Psychonauts 2 very much looks like a Game of the Year candidate, and then you have Hades, which has already won a bunch of Game of the Year awards, and then Flight Simulator, I imagine that might win a few awards as well. So, I mean, what a month for Xbox Game Pass. Objectively, this might be the best month ever for Xbox Game Pass. Just absolutely insane. Now, with all that said, I do want to go ahead and point out that Psychonauts 2 is a multi-platform release. Some people actually seem to be surprised by this, but yes, this is coming to the PlayStation 4 and will run on PlayStation 5 through backwards compatibility. Now, the Xbox Series is the only native next generation version, and over there you will be able to play at 4K 60 frames per second on the Xbox Series X or 1440p at 120 frames per second on the Xbox Series X. So that is very impressive, and obviously the Xbox Series X will be the best way to play it on consoles, but do keep in mind that Psychonauts 2 will be available on both PC as well as PlayStation. Regardless, big congrats to Double Fine, and hey, Xbox, now that Double Fine is really showing that they might possibly be one of your best studios available right now, give them as big of a budget as they need in the future. And yeah, let's make Psychonauts into a real franchise going forward. Now, we also got some PlayStation news as the PlayStation 5 got a welcome revision. Now, this new revision is being spotted over in Australia as well as the UK so far, and this does follow reports of a revision in Japan as well. We'd have talked about that in the past, but interestingly enough, this does make a pretty notable change, which we'll get into here in just a moment. Now, don't go in expecting some like PlayStation 5 Slim model or something like that, but interestingly enough, this new PlayStation 5 revision is about 0.6 pounds lighter than the original PlayStation 5 model. Now, it's not exactly clear as to what has changed to make it 0.6 pounds lighter, but that's definitely it's not an insignificant amount at all. Very interesting to see what exactly has changed, but the most notable difference here is actually with that screw for the PlayStation 5 stand. Now, one very interesting design choice for the PlayStation 5 is that stand that you place underneath the PlayStation 5 to either set it up horizontally or vertically, depending on which one you prefer. It is kind of a strange setup, and there is a screw that's included with this stand that does require a screwdriver. But here you can actually see that they've swapped out that original screw for a thumb screw instead, which will just kind of make the process for attaching the stand to the PlayStation 5 that much easier. And that is a small but very welcome addition. I mean, if you go look over on YouTube for assembling the PlayStation 5 stands, you can actually see a video with 940,000 views, which just kind of shows you that it's not a super straightforward process. There's a lot of people that had to go online to look at a video on how to attach the PlayStation 5 stand. So with this thumb screw, it's just going to be just a little bit easier, and that's a very welcome addition. No, it's not like some major revision or anything like that, but any type of improvement, yeah, that's good news to me. Let's go ahead and take a look at the poll of the day, though. And last week, unfortunately, 343 Industries did announce that they were unfortunately going to have to delay Halo Infinite's cooperative game mode for about 3 months. And this has sparked a big conversation about whether or not 343 Industries should just go ahead and delay Halo Infinite until cooperative is ready. Now, I'm not exactly sure I agree with that thought process, but I thought I'd go and ask you all and see what you all thought. And well, 57% of you said no, you still don't think Halo Infinite should be delayed. And yeah, I definitely agree with you all here. Now, I said this on last week's video, but I think that if 343 delayed the entirety of Halo's, the single player as well as the multiplayer, I think a lot more people would be upset that way. This game was already delayed a year, and the truth is not everybody necessarily cares about cooperative. Yes, I absolutely like cooperative, and I do typically play Halo cooperatively at some point, but there's a lot of people out there that just want to play its single player, or they just want to play its multiplayer. So if 343 were to delay the entirety of Halo, a lot more people would have been upset. So there really wasn't some kind of win-win situation here. If the single player is legitimately ready, then just go ahead and push it out, and for those who want to play co-op, you're just going to have to wait 3 months. It's not ideal, and I understand that. Again, I was looking forward to playing cooperative with my friends as well this holiday. I was literally just talking with my friend about Halo Infinite's co-op about a week ago and how we were looking forward to it. So yeah, it's definitely unfortunate that it's not going to be ready to go at launch, but we will be able to enjoy its multiplayer as well as its single player, and then later on we will be able to play its co-op as well. Maybe that's not exactly ideal, but Halo Infinite is still releasing this holiday, and that is definitely something to look forward to. Now, I did notice that some of you all were kind of talking about reviews in the comments and how the lack of co-op could affect Halo Infinite's overall score. And for any reviewer that's going to go out of their way to knock a game for a lack of co-op when they've already confirmed it will have co-op in a few short months, yeah, I would really have to question that reviewer. Now, I know that there's definitely some people out there that want to see Halo fail, and the lack of co-op at launch, they're going to use that as ammunition, but I really hope reviewers would not stoop that low. There might be a few, because there's definitely some questionable outlets out there, but hopefully that's not too widespread. Regardless, I am very much looking forward to playing Halo Infinite single player as well as multiplayer later this year. That multiplayer in specific is looking excellent so far, and yeah, I think this is going to be a good game when it does release. Anyways, though, that's it for this episode, but if you liked the video, don't forget the bell notification and subscribe button for more content just like this. Also, if you'd like to support the channel through Patreon, thank you for making this content possible. Peace out.